What's up, YouTube? It is 12 o'clock exactly, May 2nd. Oh, it's been a fun week. How was your week? So, I'm gonna take a ride just for fun. How much gas? Oh, you know what? Damn it. I'm gonna need to get gas. Let's see here. Let's try this again. So over the weekend, last weekend, I had some allergy symptoms. Nothing serious, just my normal allergy symptoms. And I was 99.9% positive it was just allergies. And I get to work Monday morning, and I get a call and find out that I was in contact with someone that tested positive for COVID-19. So the combination of allergy symptoms and being in contact with someone that tested positive, my work wanted me to go get tested. So I left work Monday morning, went to go get tested, and when I got to the medical place, did the testing, you know, they're doing their screening and asked me some questions. They took my temp. I actually had a low-grade fever, which I wasn't aware of, but I think low-grade fever was because I was sitting out in the car for an hour waiting for them to come get me. If you were there for COVID-19, you couldn't come in, you had to wait outside. So I was in my car for like an hour. It was hot. I don't think I actually had a fever. I think it was just from sitting out there. So anyways, he says I need to, because of the fever and the allergy symptoms, I needed to quarantine until the results came in. And even after that, I need to continue to do so. If I was showing any symptoms, because he said there's some false negatives, I think he called it, test coming back. So anyways, I got the test. Let's see here. Alright, so anyways, went and got the test done. Called my work, and they got me set up for telecommuting while we waited for the results, because I felt fine. It's just allergies. So they had IT bring me a laptop Monday. So I've been telecommuting all week. And then Thursday afternoon, I finally got the call from the clinic, and of course the test was negative. I knew it was just allergy symptoms. So anyways, I've been sitting at home, working from home all week, which I don't like. So I called my boss and let her know. But she said I had to wait until Monday. Just wanted to wait till 7 days after my original symptoms, which was just allergies. So today's Saturday. I get to go back into the office Monday, which I am happy about, because I don't like working from home. It's no bueno. For one, it's slower because you're going over the VPN. And with the VPN, when I remote into my computer at work, I have two pretty good sized monitors at work. And with the VPN, for some reason, you can only use one monitor. Well, I'm on a laptop, but even if I hooked up another screen to it, you can only utilize the one screen. So it is a lot more time consuming bouncing around from window to window. Alright. Oh man, it's warm. I think it was 72 when I left the house. But I already got a little sweat keeping my lid on. So I think what we're gonna do today is I think I'm just gonna ride over to Morro Bay, turn around and come back. Enjoy this beautiful weather. So I can't wait till this mess is over. was supposed to go on a ride a few weeks ago with my pops, but of course the ride got canceled because they were going to ride to a restaurant which isn't open because of what's going on. So looking forward to hopefully we get back to some sort of normal this summer. I know they think it's going to come back in the fall, but who knows. I've was doing a lot of reading on some different news sites, and I found an article out of the UK from Oxford that see, that's where the CHP hides over there, and you can't see them coming and they come get you. Okay, anyways, they said that they're doing human trials on a vaccine now, and if all goes well, they can have it ready fall 2020. And they said they've already signed a deal with a huge pharmaceutical company to mass produce it if all goes well. So that would be kind of promising, hopefully. I'm not here to bait vaccines. I always get my flu vaccine. I've missed it twice in my lifetime. Well, since I was a late teen. Both times, I know it's probably just a coincidence, but I got the flu bad. Got pneumonia. But every other time I've gotten this shot, which I know doesn't always protect against it, it seems like I do fine. So I say it might just be a coincidence, but I always get the flu vaccine. I know there's all those conspiracy theories going around about Bill Gates, and they want to plant a microchip inside you, or they're trying to depopulate the earth. Who knows? But I myself, if they had a vaccine, would probably get it. Although I have a feeling my son may have already had this. End of January, beginning of February, he missed over 2 weeks of school with a nasty flu that turned into a nasty respiratory issue. Had to take him to urgent care twice, load him up on meds. He just couldn't stop coughing, had a fever and all that. They're not doing the antibody testing in this county yet. Be interesting to see. So I figure well, I gotta remember they reduced the speed limit on this road the whole way to 35. It used to be after this sign, it changed to 45, and for some reason the whole thing's 35 now until you get to out past San Gabriel Road, maybe a little further. Kind of slow. Not really a whole lot out here. So anyways, I figured I'd take a ride over to Morro Bay today. It is super nice, and besides riding back and forth to work, I haven't got to go on just a ride just to ride, where I wasn't riding somewhere to start working. So I figure we'll ride out. The Rock I think is closed. I might just ride there and turn around. Maybe we'll ride out to where the Rock is and turn around. Maybe, or you know what? I think I've already posted a video of me riding to the Rock. Maybe I'll go to Cayucas and kind of loop back around. So yeah, that was fun this week. I got to, not really, but had a telecommute from Monday to Friday. So I am looking forward to getting back in the office on Monday. Because right now, we typically have 5 supervisors in that office. One of them's been on maternity leave since before all this happened, so we were down to 4 supervisors. And then we had another supervisor who was her husband was high risk, so she started telecommuting when this all started. So we were down to three supervisors in the office, and then one of the other supervisors, I'm not sure if they were high risk or having a lot of anxiety over the whole thing, was kind of missing a lot, so they did get her set up on telecommuting. And then with me out, so last week there was only 1 supervisor in the office, but my workers can still contact me via email, phone, text. So it'll be good for me to get back in the office, because we have 2 buildings there. The other supervisor that's there still is in one of the buildings, and I'm in the first building. So at least when I get back Monday, we'll have a supervisor in each building. Oh, yeah, I didn't have the most comfortable setup for telecommuting either. My wife's telecommuting. She also works for the county. She works child welfare. I work participant services side, which is food stamps, Medi-Cal, CalWorks, and then she works the hotline and takes suspected child abuse reports. So she was already set up, so she kind of got the nice desk, the more comfortable one, and I kind of set up a makeshift thing, and it was a wooden chair. The first day of sitting there for 8 hours on that wooden chair, I felt like it was the first time going on a motorcycle ride, you know, a 200-300 mile ride after not riding for years. My butt was sore. That was not a very comfortable chair to be sitting at for 8 hours a day. Definitely not ergonomic. You know, another thing about telecommuting is it's having the your work computer right there. It is too tempting, and I don't know why, but it's too tempting to sit there and want to keep checking email. Like, I'm off work at 5, and I walk by the computer at 8:30 at night, like, oh, let me get on and see if there's any email, any updates. Which probably normally I wouldn't do, but with COVID-19 going around, with this pandemic, the state and the federal government and the county, they're like literally changing policies and procedures by the hour, if not more. It's like everything has changed. Although in the long run, we might have some better processes come out of this. We might be able to be a little more efficient. It did finally get us, I'm hoping they keep it, ways for participants to submit documents digitally through an email. Before, the only way to do it was to mail it in or drop it off. There wasn't a website, but I don't think we weren't really pushing it, and people weren't familiar with it. It was called mycowin.org. I don't think we typically didn't get a whole lot of documents through that way. But now with what's going on, and with trying to keep people out of the office, it's created some new processes that I hope stay after this is over, as it'll really make it more efficient. Are they going over or not? I see a signal. Are they letting me by? Nope, I guess not. I wasn't really on their butt. There is a passing lane up here. So I don't know if I've mentioned before to you guys, I'm also a amateur radio operator. And they have you have a call sign that you get from the FCC that identifies you when you're talking over the air. Well, they have what they call vanity call signs, kind of like they have a vanity license plate, so you can try to obtain, you know, something different. So the call sign that I've actually had, my first call sign was KJ60PN, Kilo Juliet 6 Oscar Papa November. That was assigned to me by the FCC systematically. And then I was looking at vanity call signs after I first got my license, and I found one that I thought was cool. My son's name is Colby, C-O-L-B-Y. Well, I found a call sign that was KC0LBY, Kilo Charlie 0 Lima Bravo Yankee, which looks like K Colby with the 0 for an O. So that was my call sign for years. And they have different levels of licenses that grants you different privileges on where you can operate in the spectrum of radio frequencies. A little over 2 years ago, I passed the final test they had. They have 3 stages. They have a technician license, they've got your general class license, and they've got your extra class, like amateur extra. So I finally passed the final exam, which gives you the widest range of privileges on the air. And you can also get a shorter call sign. You can get a 1x2 or a 2x1, which is 1 letter, 1 number, 2 letters, or 2 letters, 1 number, 1 letter. And to get one of those short call signs, you have to be what they call extra class. So when I finally passed that, I decided to go ahead and get the shortened call sign, kind of like a little badge of honor that shows, hey, I'm extra class. But anyways, I had that one for a little over 2 years. Now, April 13th, 2018, Art Bell, radio personality, passed away. Now, I don't know if you ever heard of Art Bell, but he was on the air probably 30 years. I started listening to him in the mid-early 90s. My grandma turned me on to him. But he was a talk show that, radio show that focused on conspiracy theories, aliens, monsters, and just all kinds of crazy stuff. Which, 99% of the people that he probably talked to were crazy, but you never know. Maybe some of them weren't. So anyways, I love listening to it. Very, very entertaining show. I just loved it. Now, one of the reasons I got into amateur radio was Art Bell was also an amateur radio operator. And he would talk about it quite often on his show. And it got me very interested. Well, let's say a couple years ago here, he passed away. Now, whenever your call sign gets canceled, it's kind of locked for 2 years. But they'll have a release date, and the date it becomes available that someone else can apply for that call sign. So a few months after he died, I was thinking about it, and I was like, that'd be really cool to have his old call sign. So I went into the FCC database, looked up, found the cancellation date. Cancellation date was, I think, April 14th, 2020, and I think it would be available for application on April 15th, 2020. So here a few years back, or a year and like 10 months ago, I added it to my calendar in Google to remind me that it was going to be available, because the day it becomes available, whoever applies that day goes into a pool for it. Now, if 2 people apply on that day, and then the day after someone else applies, the day after, that person's out of luck. Because it's the day it becomes available, whoever applies for it goes into kind of a pool. They call it a competition. Well, I did it, and I thought there would be, 20, 30, maybe even more people trying to get his old call sign. So he was really well known throughout the amateur radio community, as well as just the radio talk show we have. Well, I applied for it, and then the next day it shows you who all is trying to obtain the license. Well, there was only 2 other stations or people besides me that applied for the call sign. So I thought, well, I got a 1 in 3 chance of getting it. Today I went on the FCC site just to check, because today was the date marked for processing where they make the decision. And sure enough, I got it. So my new call sign is W6OBB, or Whiskey 6 Oscar Bravo Bravo. So I now officially hold Art Bell's old call sign, which I think is pretty cool. You might think it's really lame and dorky, but hey, I've got a radio legend's old call sign, which is pretty cool. Although kind of the catch-22 in all this is my wife here a few months back decided that I should get another bike this summer, and she said if I get rid of all of my ham radio stuff, because it's taken up a lot of room in our little condo and the garage, that not only can I get a new bike, I can keep this one. Because I told her, I'd love to get a new bike. She wanted me to get rid of the radio stuff. It's like, I'm not going to have anything to tinker with. I need a project. I need to keep busy. I always got to have a hobby. And if I buy a new bike, I'm not going to really want to start tinkering with it. I'd rather have a bike like this that I can tear apart and do stuff with and still have my other bike for my means of transportation. I do have my SUV, but the SUV gets about 15 miles to the gallon, and I really love to ride. So I ride the SUV, or I drive the SUV so little that the battery usually dies in between times of me using it. Like just recently I had to get it smogged. So last weekend I made an appointment at a smog shop to go get it smogged, and it was on a Saturday, and I went out Friday night to make sure it started, and sure enough, dead as a doornail. So I had to throw it on the trickle charger overnight. But then I get to the shop in the morning, and they're like, oh, we can't smog it, the computer's been wiped clear, did you disconnect the battery? And I was like, well, it was sitting for probably 6 to 7 weeks and the battery died. I usually ride my motorcycle. And they said, oh, you're gonna have to take it through a dry cycle before, so it can register. They said there's like 10 cycles it's gotta register. So he's like, look on Google, because every car has kind of a different thing you can do to make sure that you get it. So I ended up having to drive it for like 50 miles. I had to bring it up to like 50 miles an hour, cruise at 50 for 5 minutes, let it coast without braking to 20, cruise at 20 for a few minutes, go back up to 55 miles an hour for 3 or 4 minutes, let it coast to a complete stop without braking, then cruise at 35 miles an hour. It was just this weird combination. I did it twice, which it was hard to do because it's hard to find anywhere where you can be on a road and go from 55 to 0 without someone coming up on your butt. So I took it out to San Miguel, and the reason it took like 50 miles because I kept having people come up on me. I was like, damn it, I can't like just coast. I would try putting my signal on and getting over, but some people would just stay behind me. That was a real pain, but I got it back, and I'm like, fingers crossed I actually got through all the cycles. And then he's like, oh, yep, you got through all the cycles, great. He's like, uh-oh, there's a diagnostic code that pulled up. And he's like, we can still try to smog it as long as the check engine light's not on. So I had a diagnostic code for a NOx sensor, but it did not trip the check engine light. So he's like, oh, it's up to you. It's like 40 bucks if we try and it doesn't pass. He says, and then it's registered as failing in the DMV database. So I was like, go ahead and try. If it doesn't, I'll non-op it and worry about it later. And they called me in like 20 minutes. Like, oh yeah, passed, no problem. I was like, oh, cool. So how did I get off on that story? Oh yeah. So I was saying, so I'll have 2 bikes, hopefully sometime this summer. And I don't know if any of you have been watching the Harley or any motorcycle dealerships, probably for that matter, but there's a few dealerships. I got a few bikes I've got my eye on at some dealerships, and they're used. I'm not buying a new bike, but they're like, one of them was a 2016 Fat Bob. I think they were asking like 16.4, but they've knocked like $5 grand off. Same thing with another place. There was a bike they knocked like $4 grand off. We're talking in the 15 grand range. And I'm guessing it's just because these dealerships are starving right now. They're probably really hurting, and they probably need some capital to stay afloat. And they can't they can't give you a deal on a new bike because that would just be losing money. But a used bike, I think, would be cash in their pocket. So I've seen all over. I've been looking from like Bakersfield, Fresno, Santa Maria, up north, looking all over the place, and there's a lot of dealerships that have got some killer deals on used bikes right now. I kind of thought the same thing would happen on Craigslist, but I haven't really seen any good deals yet. Not to take advantage of people, but I figured there might be some people out there that are really hurting because they've lost work and might be willing to give their bikes away pretty inexpensively because people don't have money to buy them either. So, but I haven't really seen any great deals, private party on Craigslist. So I think I'm going to give it another week or two. I just paid off a couple credit cards. I'm waiting for that to show up on my credit report. I figured that should raise my credit score a bit, give me a little better interest rate. I got a decent chunk of change to put down. So we'll see here. Hopefully next week. I paid the credit card off like 2 or 3 weeks ago, and it's still not both of them. So I have 0. Well, there might be like $10 here because I think I had some subscriptions on them. like motorcycles and misfits. I got a $10 comes on one of those for Patreon. I think there's a, oh, I got my wife the Ipsy bag. I think that's on the other one, so it might have like 10-20 bucks on them. But when we got the stimulus check, I paid off both of my credit cards, which there wasn't a whole lot on them. I think it said I was like 29% credit card utilization, so now should be at like 0 to 5% or less. I don't know how much that really helped my credit score, but that's what I'm waiting for before I go on there and apply. Figure no matter how much higher it is, it gets a little bit higher. Hopefully that bring the interest rate down a tad. Oh, it is a little chilly here. Maybe I should have worn my sweatshirt. So what do you guys think? Cayucos or Morro Bay? You know, I think I'm just gonna go drive down Morro Bay and come back. Alright. We'll just go drive through the city because I know the parking lot down by the rocks closed. I was gonna cruise Highway 1 to Cayucos. It's like 5 miles up the road, but it's kind of chilly. I don't know if I want to be doing 65 with this weather. Time for some stretches. Okay, 27 minutes. So it took me 27 minutes to get over here. Well, actually, it's probably less than that because I had to go back in and get my, let's say, it usually takes me less than 20. Forgot I started the camera, I had to go back in and get my wallet, and then I had to go get gas. So it probably took me probably about a little less than 20 minutes. I was kind of going at the speed limit too. So I think the fastest I've made it's like 16 minutes. And I think it's 15 miles. That's pretty windy. That's why my kickstand's half gone, and I'm on my third exhaust pipe on the lower one. The low model does not take corners well. I will not buy a lowered, well, I shouldn't say that. If I got a good deal on one, I probably would. So I'm not buying a lowered model bike again. It has no lean radius. Scrapes the crap out the exhaust pipe and the kickstand. There's the rock. The BFG, as Hunter Honda called it. Or is it Honda Hunter? One of the YouTube channels I used to watch. Haven't been watching a whole lot of YouTube videos anymore. Probably because I'm busy with work. Yeah, that is a stop sign. I believe you're supposed to obey the traffic laws on a bicycle. I can tell you that because I got pulled over and almost got a ticket for doing what they just did. It was at night. It was like 1 in the morning coming home from work on my bicycle. No one around. And it's like an area like this. And went through a stop sign and this cop out of nowhere comes and pulls me over. And I was like, really? I'm getting pulled over on a bicycle? What did I do? Didn't even realize I like went through it, didn't think nothing of it, and he gave me a lecture on how you need to follow traffic laws on a bicycle, same as if you were in a car. It smells good. I smell some fish. Wonder if I guess they probably just have to-go stuff open. Quite a few people down here for being closed down or quarantined, surprisingly. Yep, so when I left my house it was 12:30. Now it's, or 12 is 12:30 now. There's the shell shop. Okay, there's not much past this, so we're gonna go ahead and go up. We'll go back down. I think it's Main Street. Yeah, Morro. That's what, not Main, Morro. Is that the street I'm thinking? Free Fireside Inn. No stop sign for them, so I better hurry. Oh, that's a bumpy intersection. Yeah, we'll go this way. Oh, this is the street I was thinking I was on. This is Main Street. This is where all the shops, restaurants, some of the other ones are at that aren't down by the water. I used to come have coffee every morning at Top Dog. We moved over here, short little ride over here to the coffee shop. And then also, oh, the other place is gone. There was a barbecue place, or is it up here? Is this it? Huh. I think the place, I can't remember the name off the top of my head. Oh no, they moved again. Never mind. I forgot they moved over there. They've moved like 3 times since I've lived here. It is Brick House Barbecue. There you go. If you, I know everyone come here for seafood, but they have some good tri-tip sandwiches. That's the hotel we stayed at when we were looking for a place to live when we moved over here. It is hard to find a place to rent in this county. This guy can't make up his mind where he's going. Quintana Road. We have a social services office down that road. The Good Flea. I haven't been in this, I think it's an antique shop right here somewhere. Maybe I'm imagining it. Yeah, the bikes. Got a little dirt park here for the kids and their BMX bikes. Pretty cool. I would have loved to have something like that when I was a kid. Wonder if they closed it. Usually there's always kids on this every time I come by. This is really making me hungry for some good restaurant food, but I don't know who would open, or I guess I could put it in my bike bag and bring it home. It'd be cold by the time I got there. Oh, here's the antique shop I was thinking of. Haven't been in there yet. I'll check it out someday. Hello. Photo shoot. Wee Shack. That place sucks. Sorry, Wee Shack. Used to be Margie's Diner. I loved Margie's Diner. I know some people didn't care for it, but it was there when I was a kid and used to always go there and get breakfast when we'd stay the night here.